As we get to this batch of problems where number 27 is contained, the directions shift a little bit, and instead of just asking us to find the derivative as we did in the earlier problems, they now want us to go another step further here and evaluate the derivative at this particular value of x. So if it were me, I think it would have been consistent if they had called this an a value right here and asked you to find something like f prime of a, but it wouldn't really be f, because that implies we're dealing with a function, and most of these equations in 3.8 are not functions, so maybe that's why they did it this way. Regardless, let's dive into it. So we've got y is equal to the inverse sine of x, and the way this one is written right now, this actually is explicitly defined. It is solved for y strictly in terms of x, so we can go ahead and just dive in with our derivative here. dy dx is equal to, and this one's really straightforward, guys. This is one of the 6 inverse trig function derivatives that you guys need to have memorized. It is going to be a 1 over, and then the square root of 1 minus u squared. U is whatever this ratio is right here, which in this case is just x. So it's a 1 minus x squared, and then you'd want to multiply this now by du dx, the derivative of this quantity right here taken with respect to x. Well, in this case, since it's just x, the derivative of x with respect to x is 1, so this is a spot where you can get away with ignoring the chain rule. That's it, guys. That's your derivative, which you have in your notes already. That's one that we knew. So now they want us to take that derivative, dy dx, and evaluate it now right here when x is equal to 3/5. So let's see what that one's going to look like. It's going to be a 1 over the square root of 1 minus, and whatever your x value is, squared. Well, our x value is 3/5, and as we square that, of course, we square both the numerator and the denominator in a fraction. That's going to be a 9 over 25. And I now see why they chose this kind of weird fraction right here. Let's see where this one goes. Actually, I'm going to run out of room here pretty quickly, so I'm going to try to cram as much on this one line here as I can. That equals a 1 over, and we now have a square root of, all right, guys, that 1, it would probably help to think of that as 25 over 25, so that we can combine it with the minus 9 over 25, and 25 minus 9 is going to be 16/25. And what's interesting about that? Both 16 and 25 are perfect squares. It has to do with the fact that 3 and 5 are both part of a 3, 4, 5 Pythagorean triple. That's why they chose this particular fraction. So where are we, guys? It's 1 over, and the square root of 16/25 is just going to be a 4 over 5. And now, rather than having 1 divided by a fraction, that's just the reciprocal of the denominator, and our answer here is going to be 5/4. And that's what we got for that one right there. I wondered if trying to look at this one graphically would actually help us at all, and I think it probably would not. So I think we're going to quit right there and call it good enough. So our answer for number 27 is 5/4.